podcast. He does a little heavy metal news. You take an ordinary man, put him in the podcast. You take a motor man and you put him in a podcast, heavy metal podcast. Talking about news is a Dave Mustaine. Talking about news gonna drive you insane. It's a heavy metal news. Starts with the blues, starts with the groovy little time that I write every time that I write. You take a heavy metal man and you give him podcast, and he do the podcast, and he do the podcast right now. 205, here we go, baby, baby, yeah, baby, 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 let's go. No one's ever done. Yes, if you're wondering, I did just get off the treadmill. No one's ever done a Megadeth song quite like that, right? It had a bit of reggae in there. You take a motor man and you give him the podcast. I was trying to do something that had to do with Dave Mustaine, since you can see that it's kind of a striking photo there. If you put a 10-gallon hat on him, I'd say, by God, he was in a Western movie, because he's got the scruff and he's just enough. But Dave Mustaine says, maybe I'm just too stubborn to go away. And we know what's going on with all of this business, right? But I've got so many fun things that I want to talk to you about. We're going to talk a little bit about Ricky Rocket says, old Bret Michaels guitar player needs to stay out of the business that has to do with poison business. We're going to take our first look at Stanley Simmons. That's right. Eric Simmons and Eric Stanley, I believe, have gotten together, and they've Nick Simmons, and it's called Stanley Simmons, of course. It can't be Simmons Stanley. It's got to be Stanley Simmons. They spent a lot of time together, and I do have a question I want to ask you about the Gene Simmons live thing, because off to the side of the stage, I saw Nick Simmons standing there, and I thought I saw Mr. Stanley's son wearing fake beard and mustache and sunglasses. Would someone go watch that performance and look off stage, whatever that is, stage right? If you're out in the audience, it would be to your right. And you can clearly see, what's her name? Chantel. Gene Simmons' wife, beautiful. Shauna, I can't remember it right now, Shannon. And her son that she had with Gene Simmons, Nick Simmons, who's now great big tall, but there's this weird dude standing next to him that's tiny. And Nick Simmons keeps looking over at him like, dude, you're a goof. But it looks like a guy in a fake beard and sunglasses. I could be wrong, guys. I know this, if you're new to this podcast, it kind of goes anywhere that I feel like it going. Okay? So it's not kind of, if you're upset that we haven't hit the heavy metal news yet, I apologize to you, but I promise you the stories come, and they're coming hard. Criss Angel and Alice Cooper are going to go out and do something. I do have a little 1-minute promo clip that we may or may not see. We will take a look at it, but if there's some kind of dinging, of course, because, the corporates, they like to get in there and say, well, if he's got a podcast that's an hour and a half long and he uses a minute's worth of stuff, then we'll go ahead and take all of it. And that ain't going to happen on my watch, but I welcome each and every one of you. And can you guess the next thing I'm going to say? I'm going to say, I love you. When's the last time anyone said that to you? When's the last time you said that to yourself? When's the last time you looked right into that mirror and saw that light? You say, oh, that's the reflection of the light behind me or above me or whatever, that light that's inside of my eyes. That's just a reflection. That's what that is. When's the last time have you sat there and told that reflection inside of your eyes that you love yourself? I'm going to go ahead and guess and say not in the last year. So get in there and do that. You brush your teeth every night, don't you? I mean, you wouldn't believe what I do to my picture. I think someone just wrecked out in front here. You wouldn't believe what I do. And great call right there, too. But I'm always telling myself, you're great. Because you are. Each and every single one of you are. Now, even Dave, with those eyes going, what is this guy talking about? God, every time I tune into it, it's always giving some uplifting advice. Well, I'm sorry, Dave. That's just the person that I am. I'm a new earth silly boy, okay? And we're moving into a time where it's time to be collective and collabing and loving, okay? No more gimme, gimme, I need, I take, I steal. No. Those days are coming to an end, David. Not that you have anything you're going on about it. You're just a businessman and a working guy. And now that the word has been put out about them saying farewell tour, farewell album, he says, maybe I'm just too stubborn to go away. Have you ever used your little brains for that thought inside? Late last month, Megadeth leader Dave Mustaine and his bandmates gathered with members of the press to talk taste and craftsmanship and the art of brewing. Well, this just got way better because I used to be an avid fan of brewed beers. I worked at a brewery for about 5-7 years. At the heart of the October 26th discussion at the Intercontinental London, the O2 Hotel in London, United Kingdom, with host Phil Alexander, Global Creative Director of Kerrang! Magazine, was Megadeth Beer Co. Oh my goodness, guys. Megadeth have a beer. Iron Maiden's got a beer. Metallica's got a beer. They've all have beers. Not a one of them good. Was Megadeth Beer Co., the band's brand new beer created in collaboration with Black Sheep Brewery, the partners, has already seen success with the Rattlehead IPA. That's an Indian Pale Ale, if you guys are wondering. It's the one. These are one of those very few times where I can give a bit of information on something. You got the Rattlehead Pilsner, very light. Yes, I love that. The Rattlehead IPA Zero, is that 0 calories? Now available in 450 Tesco stores across the UK. Well, you ain't bleeding black, you're gonna get it over here. I'll tell you frank, I'll tell you true. But if you're over there in jolly old England, you can pop in and say, hey, give me a Rattlehead Pilsner to go. They love tea in England. We've got people that tune into this channel from England, and they'll say something about this. They were like, tea. UK and online, my good friends at megadethbeer.com, you can indeed have that. Boy, wouldn't that have been great in that .com whole thing where you would have just went and bought all the domain names to metal bands and the word beer? Metallicabeer.com, megadethbeer.com. I guess the difference would be they just go, well, we won't call it that. We'll call it beers.com. Then you've got a domain name that does you no good. When the conversation turned to the process of brewing, Mustaine's respect for the craft was clear. It was absolutely indeedly clear when we asked, when that conversation at the table, let me tell you this, when that conversation turned a little bit to the process, David, he sat up. He looked alert. You have a recipe that's a quality recipe. Those brewers are the rock stars of the beer business. And he's not wrong. You wouldn't believe the hoops that the owners of this brewery that I was at to keep this one guy. He dropped to his knees. He says, he's not leaving. Uber wealthy guy going, please don't leave. And he says, nah, you're an asshole. He's probably making Rattlehead beers if I knew it. But I don't know. He added, like in a band, beer making is quite a lot like being in a band. You need harmony. It's true. Brewing the same. Brewing's the same. You've got to listen to the people who know how to make it sing. Yes, it's the hops and the barley. It's the secret techniques that the brewer has, and perhaps I know a few of those secrets because I did work nights. And perhaps for the right price, Rattlehead could get a hold of me and I could give you a couple of them tips. On the instantly recognizable Rattlehead branding, Mustaine remarked,
It's a symbol that's always stood for grit and survival. It looks powerful on a can, like it's meant to be there.
Discussing flavor, Mustaine remained focused on authenticity and balance. Indeed, David, yes, you have to. It is all about the balance, my friends. Life, beer, everything.
Some brewers might turn their nose up to a zero alcohol beer.
I wouldn't now, Dave, but the problem is I don't even want to drink a non-alcoholic beer, because if I drink a non-alcoholic beer, I'll be laying out in the bushes a half an hour later because I'll go right back in and get the alcohol ones.
But we all know that moment when you just want the taste and not the aftermath. It's about balance, not compromise.
And man, I used to get these beers. Oh, let me fawn over a couple of beers I used to get. I don't even know the names of them. But man, I would get this IPA. You go to the liquor store to get them. You don't go into the grocery stores or whatever. That throat thing again. Right. Need a sip. That's my throat saying, give me a sip, dude. Zip it. You've been going, dude. Let's get a little liquid down the pipe. I hear you. Anyways, I don't know what I was talking about, so let's go.
It's about no compromising, Shane.
Ask which Megadeth track best pairs with each brew. Oh, this is fun. And Megadeth bassist James, the
James Lomenzo.
Well, I'm going to say the star of season 26, even though they only made it halfway through that season, and I'll just be ashamed if it's actually 29. I always get it mixed up, season 26 or season 29. James Lomenzo on The Amazing Race with his friend Abba, who was a rock and roll lawyer. So James Lomenzo probably used his services at one point. But this is James Lomenzo coming in. He's offered up something, and Dave Mustaine said,
"It's all right, James. You can talk now."
He says, the IPA probably... oh, you're asking me? Dave.
It's okay. You can.
Wow, man. I think I'm going to say... Dave might want to spank my bare ass with Grandma's old hairbrush when we get back in the tour bus. But I'm going with the P-Cells Pilsner. Maybe mechanics. You know, you got to get that engine running somehow, man. He's talking about drinking them before they play. You know, you get yourself a nice head buzz, and then you get out there and you're invincible to the world. You could take it on. You could take on the rocket. I know I would need one. While the conversation touched on ideas of darker or bolder future brews, perhaps like a what? I don't even want to look to see, but like a stout? Are they talking like a stout? You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm holding his face right now like that. And someone's watching this podcast and they're going, look at the fucking look on that guy's face. How can anyone sit here? This is what this person is saying to themselves as they're watching me say this right now. How can anyone watch this fucking podcast? How could anybody watch it? How out of your mind, wackadoo, fucking crazy, in love with the world do you gotta be to watch this podcast? Wow, the conversation touched on ideas of darker and bolder flavors. I'm going to say a stout. Mustaine emphasized the excitement surrounding Megadeth Beer Co.'s growing European presence, noting that the focus now lies in bringing its distinct taste and identity to newer markets across the continent. Yeah, what Dave is saying, and perhaps he'll read it down below, but he's basically saying we have it in 450 Tesco's, but we need it in 890 Tesco's all over England. Okay? So before we go doing any more beers, we need to get that bigger out there. More money coming. Okay? Not better, more flavors first. Closing the session, Mustaine reflected on longevity and passion, both in music and brewing.
Maybe I'm just too stubborn to go away. But when it stops being fun, and when people lose their passion for me,
and I'll never lose my passion for you, Dave. I love you. I absolutely love you. You are me having a different experience on this planet, and I love it for you because I have this fantasy that one day in the future, because, okay, let's get deep for a second here, okay? I have this idea that I can go and relive a life. Because technically you are all me and I am all you having an experience here on this planet, you see. We're talking way past all of the caveman and businessman and all of that. We are talking futures here, okay? We're talking futuristics, okay? We're talking dimension, quantum fields, science, spirit, and the body. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about, no. Come on, it's 2025, it's going to be 2026. Let's start waking up here, okay? Wake up. But I have this feeling like since I am you, and you are having this experience right now, watching this podcast with me, and I am you, at some point in the future, you will be able to go back and relive a life had by who? You. You are you and me and Ozzy and everyone. All of us, collective, connected. The consciousness, the light, right? Wouldn't that be kick-ass if you say, you know what, and you wouldn't even have to do the whole thing, but you could tune in to like what it was like. Say, you know, I think I'd like to go visit, see what Gene Simmons was doing back there in the hotel room in 1978. You know, whatever. But isn't that fascinating? Get into it, okay? Quantum physics, okay? The Earth Schumann resonance, right? It's rising. All of it connects beautifully and perfectly and connects everyone's passions. I don't know what that meant, passions, but closing the session, Mustaine reflected on the longevity. Yes,
he's too stubborn to go. And he says, but it's still fun.
So what these guys did in this story, you guys, is they wanted to make this about Dave Mustaine has also said that it's going to take 5 to 7 years or 3 to 5 years to do a farewell tour. So there's that, right? So I thought it was going to be about that. Like, well, 3 to 5 years, or maybe I'm too stubborn to go away. They kind of hit us. Blabbermouth did a wonderful thing here where they kind of hit us with a side story about brewing. And he's got his wines and everything. Dave, I hope you're not drinking all that. You can't be doing that taste test and everything, because let me tell you, my friend. Well, I don't need to tell you, Dave. You've probably done a lot more crazy shit than I've ever done. In fact, I'll say this. You lived in Los Angeles in the 1980s. Yes, 100%. You have done more crazy shit than I have. Let's get into this here, guys. I've got to get to the bottom of this because I don't know who this fella is, but something tells me he's the guitar player for... Now, that's Bret Michaels' guitar player. And this is Mr. Ricky Rocket here, the drummer for Poison, and he's asking Mr. Pete Ivick to keep your taters to yourself. I know you like your vittles, but don't start trying to scoop off some green beans and stuff off of Ricky Rocket's plate or Poison's plate, right? You can scoop the biggest meatloaf piece off and corn and all of that you want to off of Bret Michaels' plate. You can do that all you want, the Bret Michaels band. But when it comes to Poison, you ain't going to have none of that. That's what I think he's trying to say. And indeed, there he says it right there. Look at those cheeks. He says, does this look like a man? This is a man that says, I will kiss you or I will kill. My round, cute cheeks, they
bring you in. You say, oh, he's just a little chipmunk type of fella. And then I get close to you. And I
He needs to stay out of Poison's business, quite frankly. Ricky, the Rick Man, Rocket Man. Rocking it the Ricket style with the Ricky Rocket and Ricketts, has thrown shade at Pete Evick, who is best known as Bret Michaels, music director and guitar player of the last 21 years. After Pete suggested that Bret is the one carrying the torch for Poison, while the multi-platinum rock act is not actively touring, Mr. Pete Evick, let me just expound on this because I feel like I know where Ricky's feelings are going to go. And that is, we have created this band since the 1980s. We were extremely talented and smart in keeping all of our publishing and stuff. And here we are some 45 years later doing just fine, okay? Yes, we're having an off season or whatever, so he can do party gras, okay? But carrying the torch doesn't mean you got to be out there playing party gras every Saturday night, if you understand. That's that's all I'm saying, okay? I believe that this is what the Rocket Man's going to say. Earlier this week, Anthony Bryant of the Hair Metal Guru. I hope that he's a meditator. If he's the Hair Metal Guru, he better have some kind of meditation system going on. And boy, oh boy, you should, because then you could get a bunch of people doing your hair metal yoga. Earlier this week, Anthony Bryant of the Hair Metal Guru shared a new interview with Mr. Evick, in which Pete was asked if he ever talks to the Poison drummer. And Pete responded, I keep quiet about a lot of things, but most people know I do not. I don't speak to Ricky. I have spoken to Ricky. I have spoken to Ricky. Me, Ricky, don't you lose my number. 'Cause me and Ricky, our birthdays are only 2 days apart. So what he's saying is, let me tell you something. Not only do I not keep in touch with Ricky, I know exactly when his birthday is, and I never send him a text saying happy birthday. If you believe in astrology, you know anything. I am starting to very deeply believe in it. And you know anything about a Leo. I don't know nothing about that. We are poster children of Leos. So he's trying to just blame the judgment on, we're just Leos that don't get along. No. You walk over, you embrace, you say, I love you. You're a Leo. That's why we should love each other. I'm the other woman. I'm Bret's best friend in Bret Michaels' solo band. He's Bret's best friend in Poison. And that is kind of rough, isn't it, when you got to split your best friendships? Remember that when you was a kid? And there was one kid in the middle, and you didn't care for the other kid, but you liked hanging out with him, and he liked hanging out with both of you, but they never liked hanging out at the same time? You wanted to go ride your fucking bike with Robert, and Dale, or whatever his name, had to go along. And I was like, well, I don't want to hang out with Dale today. And he's like, well, then I won't hang out with you. Lesson learned. Sorry, I feel someone creaking around the door. Just creaking. This isn't some kind of a live studio downtown in Los Angeles, California, where I'm doing this, in case you're wondering. Me and Ricky, the birthdays are shared and all of that. They're best friends, Poison. Even though him and CC DeVille, Poison guitarists, get along notoriously better because these days Ricky is the one out of the three of them that still cares the most about Poison. Because these days Ricky is the one out of three of them that still cares about Poison, still carries the flag in his pride and joy. He doesn't want anything else. So isn't that what the guy just said? Is like, Ricky is really good at it. Ricky loves Poison and wants to do it, Peter continued. All right. apparently referring to the fact that Poison hasn't toured in more than 3 years. And I respect that. And I respect everything Ricky is. He's one of my favorite bands of all time. And a lot of times I have to go to the Poison rehearsals and take care of things. And the last time I actually saw Ricky face to face, I said, Ricky, Ricky, how you doing, Ricky? He says, I know you don't want me here, buddy. Oh, this is what he said to him. Ricky, I know you don't want me here, buddy. And I'm sorry that I'm in your world, your vector and vicinity at the present time. And he gave me a hug and he said, life's too short. Then take his advice. Life's too short. So I like the cut of his jib there, Ricky. So I think that any of the problems that maybe me and Ricky had, and we had some problems, I think that's over. Well, when's old boy gonna pop in? Evic added, but I think your question is, there's so much mystery behind the Poison camp, and I do have an insight that I'm willing to give. And do I have any insight that I'm willing to give? Question you're asking me? That's the question, right? You're asking? I'm glad you asked that, because the one thing I wanted to correct you about, you had mentioned. I mean, it just feels like there's someone just hovering right there at my door, just hovering like a... I've lost my whole place in this damn thing. See, now that guy that was just sitting there going, how can anyone watch this? He's starting to go, hey, wait a minute. This is... All I want to hear is where Ricky says the thing. He's going, Mickey, me and Ricky, and a Ricky. Evic adds. But I think our question is, okay. You had mentioned, why wouldn't Brett play solo and keep the portion of the money as opposed to splitting it 4 ways? Why would you do that? The truth of the matter is, he doesn't split the money 4 ways with Poison. He does get the lion's share of that because he worked that out in his deal. Because he's the one carrying the torch. Okay, well, now what you've done is you've pulled out your willy and you whizzed on saying, and not only is Brett holding up the torch, but he's also making all the green beans when they do it. A lot of people have this misconception that this isn't about Poison. This is about the music industry. Yes, I like the music industry. It's about the music industry. It's about music. You know, it just goes so, you know, those guys slapping each other's ass in spandex pants and putting on lipstick and everything like that. And now it's like, it's about the music industry. We got to dot them I's and slash them T's and sign this and sign that. And that's the deal that he's got. A lot of people have this misconception that I call it the Bon Jovi theory, is what I like to call it. Because when I was a kid, I fell for it. I believed that Bon Jovi were all best friends. And that they weren't best friends. When you looked at the albums and stuff and you saw them in the stretchy pants and smacking each other's ass and stuff, you said they're friends. And that they were splitting everything 4 ways. Hell no, man. Why should I give you a speck more? Why should I give you a lick more? It's my pie. You get a little bit. Of course, those days are coming to an end quickly. Thank goodness. It's just in time, right? I believe the Bon Jovi with all the best friends splitting it 4 ways. They were going to live. Now you're going to piss John Bon Jovi off because he's like, now he's over there fucking telling our deals. You're going to live happily ever after in the neighborhood together. Same with Dee Snider. He owns it all. It's just not
fucking true. It ain't true, Ivic said.
In any job, in any business, someone gets paid more than someone else. There's hierarchy. Not for long. Not for long. There's that, and so many of the fans just think that they split it 4 ways. They don't. And I know Brett gets mad when I say this. Oh, so he's pissed off Bon Jovi, he's pissed off Ricky Rocket, and now he's going to piss off Bret Michaels by saying this bit too. What does he say, Rock of Love down here? The hierarchy, that's that. And so many of the fans just think they split it 4 ways, and they don't. And I know Brett gets mad when I say this. But I've already said it a million times. He deserves that. He's done the reality TV shows. Rock of Love, The Apprentice, he did it. He was on it. Didn't he win? Just staying out there, even though the solo band itself, because Brett's a year-round guy. We don't stop playing. It's non-stop party gras. And the Poison guys don't want to do that. CC doesn't want to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday all year long. Brett does. You know what, guys? I think that Brett is holding the candle, holding the flag for Poison here. So I see both sides of it. Does the solo band tarnish Poison's worth because we're oversaturating the market? Question mark. Let me see. I see that. But I also know there's a whole lot of people that only go to see Poison that still don't come to see Brett's solo band. All right. After apparently watching the latest past interview with the hair metal guru, Ricky. Okay, finally. Jesus. And then we're out of here. Ricky is a very succinct and good man. He's got them chub cheeks full of good words that he's going to spit right out in a succinct paragraph here. And then we're going to move on to the Stanley and Eric Simmons got a band together. Awesome. After apparently watching at least past Pete's interview with the hair metal guru. And what another great thing about your podcast would be is if you interview them in yoga poses. The whole interview done in yoga poses, and you cannot move. And you're breathing in and hold, Mr. Rob Halford. And what was it like the first time you played in the bars, clubs in Birmingham? And let it go. And you're doing some kind of back stretching, and he can say, well, the first gig we played, I had me flower shirts on. Didn't he have those fluffy, flowing? I'd love a whole set of them now myself, if I'm being truthful. A moo style shirt, not all the way cut down, but just flowing. Here's Ricky Rocket here, and he says, if Pete Evick thinks the BMB Bret Michaels Band is carrying the Poison torch, then Pete must be a Bic lighter. Keep practicing CC solos, Pete. I don't understand that. Someone may have to explain what Bic lighter is. That some kind of a rock and roll rudeness? And he says, keep playing CC solos, Pete. Ricky also commented on various fans' responses to his post explaining that when Poison tours, we do 40-plus shows in a year. BMB, it's a Bret Michaels band, does not do that. BMB is out there because Bret doesn't want to tour with Poison. I mean, when you get so damn greedy, I'm not going to say whether that's true or that's not, but, if you're like, well, old Pete'll do it for $1,000 a gig. It's there. Where is your love? You don't do it for the money amount. You do it for the friendship. You say, my God, we cut the streets. We had them bright green goddamn flyers all over Los Angeles, La Cienega Boulevard. We had them all over by the Whiskey A Go-Go and everything else. And I'll tell you what, every time someone saw a bright green Poison flyer on the pole, they says, I know Poison's playing somewhere. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the green beans you get in your bank statement at the end of the year. I'm talking about the rock and roll. I'm talking about the force, the spirit of it. Get it back, boys. Get it back. Anywho, he says that's all he's going to say about it. What? BMB is out there because Brett doesn't want to tour Poison. Not the other way around, Rocket added. Pete needs to stay out of Poison's business. That's all. Short time later, Pete personally took to the comment section below Ricky's original post to write, "Oh, Ricky Rocket, I love you, buddy." Now, the way, just seeing the sentence, he's going to launch into him with rudeness because he's setting it up that way. What I would say, "Oh, Ricky Rocket, I love you, buddy. I truly do." And leave it there. I'm going to say this one time to you and all your fans and all the Poison fans. First is, I'm not going to fight with Ricky. I'm not going to say anything negative. It's a good boy. He is 100% correct in his statement. CC is a hero. He's taking the high road here. I'm appreciating this, Evic. CC is a hero and an influence of mine. I keep doing this with my finger. And I'm sure Evic doesn't like. He's like, don't talk, do that. I'm not going to fight with Mr. Ricky Rocket. I'm not going to say anything negative. He is 100% correct. CC is a hero and an influence of mine. Yes, and here in my loins, heart. He has always been a good friend to me. On more than one occasion, damn good friends. Even if I played those solos note for note, they are his. Can never play them exact. You could learn every note of Neil Peart. You can't play it with the same gusto as he has. You could learn the fucking Van Halen thing, that guitar solo. It's never down the same. It's not Eddie. So stop playing it, all of you. No, keep playing it. Keep playing Eruption, you guys. I take that back. Keep fucking playing Eruption, guys. Fire it up. Fire it up. Torque it even more. You don't tell anyone not to do their passion. If your passion is Eruption by Eddie Van Halen, by God, you do it. I also never in a million years said BMB was carrying the torch. I did not say that. I did not say that. I said Brett was. And by that, I mean his TV shows, his appearances, his NFL games, his interviews, just like Dee Snider, Rob Thomas, and Mark McGrath, and so many others. Moving on, I'm curious if Ricky or anyone listened to the interview. That could be something, Ricky, if you didn't listen to that interview and someone just told you what he said and then you just ran over there and started, you got to make sure you understand what's being said and what's not being said, okay? If you did, you know I spent the entire time praising Poison and Ricky. I played Poison songs in every high school talent show. Were you going to that high school? Or is this just what you do when you're not doing party grouse gigs? No. My band, it was high school. I played Poison songs in every high school talent show. My band learned, "On skinny, ba 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 ba, you blow me away, yeah. On skinny, ba 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 ba, all night and day, yeah. On skinny, ba 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 ba." I mean, how many ladies fell down, passed out in that when they saw that video, and Bret Michaels will hump his hips like that to the bop bops, the bop 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 bop. They just passed right out like Elvis Presley. We learned Unskinny Bop the day the video was released and was playing it in a bar the next night. I am a fan. I am a huge fan. I have nothing to say negative about any member of the band or the collective. Okay, we're almost done with this. You're so happy about this? I've been in Brett's band 21 years now. My God, that's a soldier of rock right there. I mean, 21 years is a long time. And though it's out of passion and love for those songs, it's also been about blocking some clown-ass hired gun from making a paycheck from music he probably doesn't like or appreciate. Hey! Listen, pal, if they hire a hired gun, go watch that documentary, Hired Gun. It's fantastic, okay? You don't need to be throwing shade to hired guns, and does it matter if indeed, if you get a hired gun to come in there and try out for your position in the Bret Michaels Party Cross Band, you're going to feel it. They don't like this song. Then he don't get to be in the band. Like Dream Theater did with their drum offs. They found the man. Mark Mangione. They found him. And then they got the other guy that had the passion for it back. You see? Someone could say you're a clown-ass hired gun, but hey, let's not call hired guns clown asses. Okay? That's what I'm really trying to get down here. Again, I will never claim to be as talented or as original as Mr. C.C. DeVille. He wrote the soundtrack to my fucking life. I made love to women. To his song. I made that up. He didn't say nothing about making love to no ladies. I'm sure he has. Guys, we're not going to get into his proclivities or anything else. I'm positive that is the case. But he's saying he wrote the soundtrack to his life. But all of you, I literally lost my place and I thought the phone rang there. But all of you are reading clickbait, way out of context. Boop, 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 boop. Ricky, this is still Mr. Evick. He says, Ricky, put aside the legend that you are and all the rock star stuff as a human. We are both the astrology sign Leo. And we have both proven to be outspoken at times. I know, I irritate the shit out of you. And on the rare occasion that I end up on your radar, and for that, I am truly sorry. Mr. Evick, you are really stealing my heart right now. Because if you're sincere with what you're saying, you're doing this, handling the right way. Where I am truly, hey, God, I am truly sorry. I've spent many nights wide awake, bummed out that I've created such a tension with a childhood hero. A guy I've paid money to see. A guy I had posters of on my wall, okay? So there's that. Did you know that the last time you played Charlotte, North Carolina with Jackal? I'm a lumberjack, baby. I bought 4 tickets. Never told Bret I was there till after the show and sat there in the crowd as a fan. Lost my spot. Even while I was on Bret's payroll. So you paid Poison on the payroll of Bret. That's good. That's good. That's commerce. I am a fan. That's it. I'm a fan. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever read in my life. This might be the most touching thing I've ever read in my life. I do not regret a thing I said in that interview. Most of the comments were, and he did probably went back and listened to it again. You want to go back, listen to it again before you say, did you listen to that podcast? Because I didn't say that. I do not regret a thing I said in that interview. Most of the comments were incredibly kind and uplifting on the YouTube page until this. But I will say it again. Ricky, I am truly sorry to have irritated you today. I hope you at least find the time to listen to the part where I talked about how original your swing is and all that jazz. Tomato, potato, potatoes, and all that jazz. I told him about your swing and all that jazz. All that jazz influence that you have created a perfect style for Poison. Because when I think of Poison, I think fucking jazz swing. Don't you? I'm like, man, what do you got? I got to decompress today with a little unskinny bop. It's got that beautiful jazz swing to it. And how no other rock drummer could have done it like you. I agree with that. Ricky Rocket was the dude that everyone wanted to try to do as many tricks and spins and flip sticks and stuff. You went to Ricky Rocket's videos to go, what's he doing now? You saw a fresh one that he did? And how did it work? How did it go? And he was just trying to learn all the little tricks and stuff. And he looked cool. And I liked that he played on top of the drums. That's how I'll tell you that I took that from Ricky. As I says, when I play drums, I want to play on them. I want to be a goddamn monkey beating the hell out of them. I want people to say, you're murdering those drums. And I say, yes, I am. I am pounding them with pure, unadulterated love. All right. Oh, wait. We got a retort. And we're going to get really in. Eric Simmons, we're going to get right to that very quick. Out. Because this is getting good. An hour later. My God. An hour later. Ricky, who has spent the last few months playing sporadic shows with his new band, The Rocket Mafia, responded to Pete's post writing, I'm not out to get you, but your facts are not straight. CC does, in fact, want to tour, and he has never been the reason Poison doesn't tour. He's spitting facts now, guys. Poison on tour, Poison on tour as a band carries the torch. TV shows from 15 years ago do not. Sure, any amount of attention to our members, Brett or otherwise, helps with visibility. He's right. He's right. Otherwise helps with the visibility, but at the end of the day, making music and playing music as a band is the silver lining. It's what really counts, the songs, the hits, the music that speaks to someone's soul. Guys, I think I may have lost it. Poison, I spent 15 years ago, do not. Sure, any amount of attention, members, Brett or otherwise, helps with visibility, like his Ghost channel. I love watching Brett's channel. Anything works. But at the end of the day, making music and playing the songs, yeah, silver lining, it counts. It's what it is. It's the long haul upstream, and the sacrifice is the real sauce that is Poison. I don't think we have to answer another damn thing with that. I think that he explained that perfectly well. Yes, it is the secret sauce. The secret sauce is the rock sauce. It's not about 15 year ago television shows and how they're saturating the markets. Okay, now Pete Evek and Brett Michaels and Ricky Rocket, I want you to go and get yourself a hotel room. I want you to strip down, scrub each other's backs, okay? And then just sit there in a love circle and say, hey, let's get this all figured out. I brought some fucking cocoa butter. We're going to party a while, and then we're going to get out of here, and we're going to be done with it, all right? Let's get into these cocoa butter pals. Jesus. These guys right here, I'm telling you, I love this Nick. Doesn't he just, that's Gene Simmons, right? And the one thing that I have noticed is these guys are constant, perhaps daily, on doing lives, just like this, where they're sitting right next to each other like that. I showed you before, but every day. I mean, that's how addictive it is. They're just sitting there staring at the phone and waiting for people to ask them questions so they can go, well, now we're not going to listen to these guys. And I honestly think that these guys are going a completely different direction. Like these guys are going like bongos and acoustic guitars and stuff. So they're not trying to do the same thing as Kiss. But I did want to get in. It's kind of the same kind of feel got going on. He's kind of back there hovering and kind of sparks in, but this guy's more the talker of the crew. Let's see what it's all about here. Stanley Simmons Band, Sons of Kiss's Paul Stanley. I'm holding my hand up like that for. I would be, and let me just say this right now. If Mr. Eric Stanley and Mr. Eric Simmons is watching this right now, Evan Stanley's and Nick Simmons is watching this right now. I absolutely love you guys, okay? I know, I've seen you on those boat cruises, and you guys are unbelievable, okay? Mr. Nick has one hell of a set of pipes on him. He should be the main singer. I'm just saying that now. I don't know how this is all going to shake out, singing-wise, but I think Mr. Simmons should be the singing guy. He doesn't have the deep, rich tone that his father holds, but he can really belt it out. If you've listened to the man sing some what's that song from Led Zeppelin? I'm going down again, something about going down a lane, or it's very good. Anyways, let's get into this. Stanley Simmons, and maybe they'll use the S's from Kiss for their names. Stanley Simmons, the collaborative project of Evan Stanley and Nick Simmons, son of Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, respectively, from Kiss, will release its debut single, Body Down, Body Down, boom, boom. I mean, I do feel like it's kind of like that. Stanley Simmons said, a year ago, Stanley Simmons wasn't even the beginning of a thought in either of our heads. Now it's pretty much all of them. Is he talking about the heads? Like all their heads? Like, we're incredibly proud of the record we're making and very stoked to share it with you all. For the past 11 months, Evan and Nick have been sharing posts on Instagram of the pair making music together. Regarding how Stanley Simmons came about, Evan told Tomorrow magazine, it was never really supposed to be a project. We just wanted to sing together once. And then we heard it back and thought, wait, this actually sounds pretty good. Nick concurred, saying, see, you guys didn't think I was going to get that word. Nick concurred, which means he came in and he said, there's a kind of connection you can fake. There's a kind of connection you can't fake. When we sing together, it feels like a third voice, something new. As for what it's like to make music as the Sons of Kiss, Evan said, people get hyped on the last names. Ha ha ha. But that doesn't get you anywhere. You can't network your way into making something that actually moves people. I'll agree with that. You can network your way right into Donatello's office over there at fucking WBMG Records. Whoever's your name, Clive? You who? Mr. Simmons' son. You know, Mr. Stanley's son. You know, you saw him on Broadway in New York. Get in here and sit your cute little asses down in those chairs and sing me a little noodle. But the little noodle, the little tune, you're right. It has to hit the heartstrings of the people. As for what it's like to make music, the sons, the kids, just people get hyped on the last name. It, you know, you can't network your way into making something that actually moves the people. This past February, Nick told People magazine about Stanley Simmons and the inception of that, what that might look like. We've grown up together. We're essentially brothers. So we always thought we'd probably play together for fun at some point. But recently, Evan picked up a guitar when we were hanging out and we started humming some harmonies. And it was kind of unexpected. Magic moment. It all just snowballed from there. And the song is called what? Something about rocking your body. Body down. Listen to that body down. Regardless how Stanley Simmons came about, guys, I lost my place here this past February. Worst podcast ever? No. I've been looking for them, guys, and I've found a whole bunch that are not as good. In December 2024, Evan and Nick shared a video of them covering Simon and Garfunkel's 1964 classic, The Sound of Silence, with Nick captioning the clip, "He Garfunkeled my Simon till my hall got oats." Oh my Jesus. And the song's called Body Down. Baby, let me lay that body down. Baby, let me make you run around. Baby, gonna lay that body down. Gonna body down. What was that line again? Can we? I'm loving Mr. Nick with his great sense of humor there. What was that again? He Garfunkeled his Simons? Where's that line again? I got to read that again. Oh, there it is. He Garfunkeled my Simon till my hall got oats. Wow. Referencing an aforementioned The Sound of Silence video, Gene added, Nick set up a camera and... Oh, Gene's popping in? Oh, this past March, Gene told the New York Post about Nick and Evan's musical partnership. We both have been pals because they went to see their dads. Oh, yeah. Since they were little boys. And they never thought about getting together, just strumming and humming and all that. Gene added, Nick set up a camera and, oh my God. For Body Down, they set up a camera. What's he going to do to his Hall & Oates again? I don't need to read that again. And Evan just started strumming his guitar. They did The Sound of Silence a few times, and immediately everybody went, whoa, what is that? Because you can't create that. You either have the chemistry, the sound that people react to or not, right? Something about both Evan's voice and Nick's voice connected. All right, we're done. Guys, you're so happy that we're getting through this. Look at that. We're gonna lay your body down, girl. I'm gonna lay your body down. We're gonna lay that business down, girl. We're gonna lay that. That is trademark material, guys. If you're reading this story, if you're watching this right now and you started kind of, Evan's over there on the guitar, that's trademark, okay? We hear it, we got ears over here. And they hear that, they know. So we'll be keeping an eye on the upcoming songs. We don't want to hear any kind of rhythms. Now it is, you can purchase it. I would sell it right away, in fact. Alice Cooper and this. Now, the first thing I see with this right here, guys, that looks like Johann from and you're going to say, oh, that's the guy from that band where the guy dresses like the Burger King guy. It's from Stockholm, Sweden. What was that band called? That is not. That is Criss Angel. I mean, we wondered, when was it ever going to happen? Alice Cooper's going to go out on tour with Criss Angel. When's it going to happen? Well, welcome to your nightmare, because it is indeed happening. I never really watched a lot of Criss Angel's show. I saw like the one where like half a man in a trench coat was chasing some lady down the street with no legs, and I went, I got too much in here right now, for my television watching, which I hardly watch any anymore. It's crazy. I can sit and look out the window. Beautiful, peaceful, mindful. You're just like my open diary. I just tell you everything, don't I? Let's get into it here. But that dude should be pissed off or saying, wait a minute. That guy, that magician fellow, is dressing like me in our band. What's the name of that band now? Avatar. That's the name of the band. Go look him up. Looks like that singer. Johann Avensberg. Avatar. Alice Cooper and Magic Man Criss Angel announce additional dates for Welcome to Our Nightmare. Because he did do kind of the creepier tricks. Alice Cooper does the lopping off the head and the hanging and all this, the sword going through the gizzards or whatever. And Criss Angel kind of had that too. It's like, well, I like to do creepy things too. Like, open my, eyes up and maggots fly out or whatever and scare the people in the park or whatever. But it's like, that's okay. I'm feeding the birds, After selling out 2 premiere shows in 1 hour. Is this at the Sphere? Got to be in Vegas. After selling out 2 premiere shows in 1 hour and adding a third now sold out show, music icon Alice Cooper and illusionist Criss Angel have announced an additional 4 show dates. Shows have been added on April 3rd, April 4th, as well as May 22nd and May 23rd of the 20 and the 26th of next year. For the first time ever, Alice and Criss unite to create the shock rock magic experience of a lifetime. Welcome to our nightmare. With all the smash hits in theatrical visual feast that will destroy your mind, immerse your senses, run for your lives, history will be made again in the Criss Angel Theater at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino in Los Angeles, California, Nevada. You got to do it in Criss Angel Studio if you want the tricks to work. You can't take it on the road. With this exclusive limited engagement partnership, Alice and Criss bring the smash hit to life. Poison. Oh, they're going to bring hits to life. Alice and Criss bring the smash hits to life. Poison. I'm 18, school's out, and you and me, and more. In an unprecedented 90-minute revolutionary concert spectacle of magic, music, and mayhem. Additionally, fans can take advantage of exclusive ticket add-ons. But you mean there's more I can add to this experience I'm going to have? I thought 90 minutes of revolutionary spectacle of magic, music, and mayhem was just enough. With that VIP nightmare experience, and up close and personal backstage meet and greet with Alice and Criss, indeed, a Nightmare collectible package. I can buy it. I want to buy it now. Welcome to our Nightmare will play in the Criss Angel Theater at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino on March 6th through the 8th. April 3rd through the 4th. May 22nd and 23rd of 2026, 7 p.m. What is the correlation of those nights in the months of the year? I'd like to know. Perhaps weekends, I'm betting. 7 p.m. Ticket will be on sale Friday, November 14th at 1 p.m. ET with an exclusive pre-sale starting Thursday, November 13th at 1 p.m. Let's see this commercial that they got here, and then we're getting into your comments, and we're so happy. We love it. Now, I've seen a bit of this, guys, and he rams his hand straight through Mr. Alice Cooper's chest, so I hope he's okay, but let's find out. Just a minute here.
The first time ever, music legend Alice Cooper, magic icon Criss Angel performed together live in the shock rock magic experience of a lifetime. Welcome to our Nightmare. With all the smash hits.
Oh yeah, you gotta do a and you won't be seeing any of this right now if they're digging it. But of course, you've got to get out of a trench coat or get out of a straitjacket thing. You've got to have that. You can do that.
Mr. Nice Guy, no more Mr. Clean. But you and me, no movie star.
Oh my heavens!
What we are is what we are. Drop you like a hammer on a bed of nails.
On a bed of nails. Yeah, you got to do bed of nails because isn't it just great being the musician or the magician though? Because it's just like everyone's just like he's just great at everything he does. Why, this guy can lay on a bed of nails. I can take a sledgehammer. You're gonna let a 70-something-year-old Alice Cooper smack him with a sledgehammer? You know they've made the joke. Well, you're pretty good. You're pretty good on the links, right? You just got to smack vampire teeth, but he don't now.
Only win.
Wait a minute. See, there's one of them people that I thought I saw in one of his videos. He's got someone that's doesn't have half their torso there, and so this better not be one of them goddamn Elephant Man type of situations. You know, where they just treat them good. People are people.
Welcome to our Nightmare, the theatrical spectacle
Jesus, she put her foot in his mouth.
that will destroy
Foot in
your
her mouth.
experience.
You know, all right, we're going to get out of here. But let me tell you something, right? That's not the shot to have. Jesus. He's saying, and if this don't go well, I'm telling you I'll have your ass. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry about this one. I'm just... let me tell you something about this racket that's going on over here. Is I don't want any kind of taking advantage of anybody. Those days are over. You hear me? We are not taking advantage of people any longer. You hear? You understand this? So, equal benefits, equal all that, equal everything. It is time for your comments. I've got you all lined up here. I believe everything's good to go. I do think I'm going to sneak out of here for a restroom real quick, and then we're going to get into it and finish this episode off very strong. It's not going to be as half as not good as it's been thus far, but yeah, it's in the eye of the beholder. This may be a Vincent van Gogh. Be right back. Baby, let's see that body down. Baby, gonna take that body down. Can we just sit here and for 1 second and bask in the silence? Because do you notice something? If you went and listened to the other episode, I don't know if it's been off the whole time, guys, but I tried to turn a bunch of stuff off on this laptop. Like, get rid of that, get rid of this, get rid of that, turn that off, turn that. And I don't think this laptop has hummed once, but I could be wrong. But man, oh man, it's a shame that this podcast episode may have gone to hell in a handbasket. I think it's wonderful. But it was quiet the whole time. So it's like, not only what has it been, it's quiet in the not goodness or the greatness of it. However you choose to look at things. I look at things as though the cup is half full and only getting better each and every day till the cup hath run over for everyone. Not just me. Everyone. You want to know why? Because it is yours. It has always been yours. You've always deserved it. And you, whether you believe it or not, you are someone very, very wonderful, unique, and very special. You're going to say, Shane, I'm just a fucking lumberjack over here breaking shit. This is who you are. This is your identity as you know it. But as you dig deep, you realize that you are none of that. You are the storyline that you've played out thus far in your life. And the magic, wonder, and awe of this world and universe is only going to get better and better. I know you say, Shane, how could it be with everything that's going on? But this is what that is. The churning of the old garb that needs to be flushed from the system. Trust me, hang out with me, that's all I'm saying. Let's chill out, let's rock the hell out. Let's not waste our energy, time, and visuals on fear-based garbage, because it literally means nothing. Now, with that being said, just learn to love yourself. There's a lot to love. You don't believe it right now. If you feel that way, go inside. Take time for yourself. You know, you spend what I've realized is that my entire life, from the minute you're born, it's about everything that's happening outside visually that you can see. It's the school, it's the teaching, it's the this, it's the church, it's the office job, it's this. It's everything. And you never take that time to go, well, what is this? This biological, this absolutely masterful clockwork thing that I'm in. My meat sack. What is it? What does it do? And why do people always tell me, don't worry what's going on inside? Don't, it's only when you go inside is when you find out who you truly are. When you truly wake up and say, oh, I've not been any of that. You've just forgotten. That's all. That's the only thing I'm saying. You'll get there in your own perfect time. You'll remember exactly who you are. And that's why I love to just sit here and hang out with you, because I can be exactly who I am on my channel with the fine folks that I love to be around. And in my world, in my magical, wonderful world, it is nothing but unconditional love, fucking rainbows, clouds, and rock and roll music. And that's the way I choose to live my life, and that's what I let in there. So my reality shifts, and it shows me that. It says, these are the things that you want to surround yourself with, then good things. And part 2 of that is now out. Okay, let's get on with it. Johnny B here. We've got all of yous here, I do believe. I watched a little bit of Billy Corgan's podcast with Wendy Dio, but I don't know. I didn't have it in me. She said Dio was a wonderful man and everything else, and that she didn't like him when she saw him. She said, oh, he's a little bugger, a tiny little bugger. But then they fell in love and all that and good stuff. But oh, I wanted to say Gene Simmons did a touching salute. I watched Gene Simmons at the Motorcycles for Rock Festival. And it wasn't the lineup I was hoping for that was Ricky Rocket and all those people. He had Tommy Thayer there and everything else, but he did do a very touching. I told you Gene Simmons is a sweet boy. He puts the sunglasses on to hide the tender eyes that he's got because he did a touching Ace Frehley tribute. Anyways, it's that time. I got to make sure I got my water here because I just drank all that. Let me pull myself together. Pulling myself together. All right, here we go. Johnny B coming in here. He says, another week, another incredible Jive Talkin with the Diablo Mania, the Paul Stanley table making segment had me laughing extremely hard. I kept picturing Paul posing like he did for the photo shoot that he did for Crazy Nights, which remind me, I got something to say about Pete Pardo and the Sea of Tranquility in Crazy Nights, where he was shirtless and had on torn jeans with men's bikini briefs on under. I mean, it's only a certain type of person that can do that. And his thumb on the waistband, pulling them down a bit so you could see them. His puberts saying things like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm going to put a glass of vodka and orange juice on this table. I mean, he was something else with that table, man. You know, believe it or not, this is still Johnny B here. It says, believe it or not, that's all I got this week. I hope you all Diablo heads are doing great and having an amazing week. Much love to all. Keep looking up, keep asking questions, and keep on dancing the night away. Yes. And go check out my great playlist, which I created I created a playlist called the Cosmic New Earth Bangers on Spotify. Pardon me, I spit when I said that. And it has 11 hours and 11 minutes. You astrology people are loving that right away. 11 hours and 11 minutes of songs that I believe are speaking of the time period in which we are now living in. I have not added Sammy Hagar's Crack the Sky, where he straight up mentions the year of 2025, and we all gonna find out what the hell is going on in 2025. But I do have a couple of other Van Halen hits, Hagar hits on that Cosmic Banger playlist. What I've tried to do is build this playlist so you can read the lyrics. So it's got bands that I believe are speaking of the time period in which we are all living now. And it's all cosmically good, and it's all cosmically churning towards the better and to the best. Hashtag get Shane to 100K there. Yes, Johnny B, I agree with that, and I thank you very much for that. Big Tone here, he says, Brother Shane. Gee whiz, I am crossing my fingers that this week's comment is also nuke-free. Bada bing. Now, this kind of jumped on me. Did someone just put a comment? Huh. All right. Big Tone here says, GNR, let the man earn. As the divine Miss Althea put it, what are they hiding? Where are they hiding the bodies? What are they hiding the bodies or something? I mean, what could he possibly reveal that hasn't already been shared? Oh, I'm sure there's some darkness that people are like, these guys are so petty and adolescent. I mean, the one guy, Nivens, was telling a story about the house that they were living in and the way he was finding them all just drugged up and stuff living in the house. So if they're blocking something that's in that book, it ain't good. And 9 out of 10 times it's you're taking advantage of something or somebody. Anyone who's critical of Wolfie either hasn't really listened to him play or has listened or hasn't listened to or watched him conduct himself. As I've stated before, he's a top-notch musician and an even better person. I mean, he seems like a very lovely, sweet person. It's nice to see them people, right? Where you look at him and you go, what are you hiding? What story's going to leak out of your skirts? Or the other way around, you're like, oh, God, they're just the sweetest damn thing in the world. And then something leaks out. And you go, even you? You have to be a good human being. It's just that simple. It's bare bones. If it's not your type of sound, I get it. But he's rock solid, that Wolfie Van Hager. He's not commenting on the Roth nonsense because he's considering the source. However, his Italian mama is seething, no doubt. That's what I said, Valerie Bertinelli. She'll go over there. Wolf is keeping his paisan rage in check. Valerie Bertinelli, she'll go over there and kick him square in them leather pants he's wearing, the sagging there in a bit. I'm just wondering if, at this point with David Lee Roth, I'm just wondering if he's like, because those backup singers and dancers, I mean, my God, how would that be to be a singer on that tour now? And you're just cruising across the country going, my God, what's going to happen to that? I just got to go, oh, yeah, I'll wait. And you just get to watch him walk around and see what the hell he's going to do. But now I'm starting to think he's always been a showman. So maybe it's all goofs and gags. I'm losing my marbles. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, the last song of the last show, he strips down to a thong. Panama, bow, 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 Panama. Anyone who's critical, okay, we got through that. Rage in check. Thanks to Miss Althea, I can't ever look at Paul Stanley again without seeing him as a mob wife. Ha ha ha, spot on comparison. His table video. Okay, it's nice. And it costs a yearly salary for some, and yes, it's sitting on a terrible carpet remnant. These guys just can't fade away. Bada bing. I mean, wasn't that just the ugliest? You're going to put that on the ugliest purple piece of flat, flabbed, flaccid carpet that had little white cotton nuggets all over it? It's just, no. You put that fucking table on. I mean, I would be 100% against this now, but just the biggest damn, I mean, and I'm saying this, I'm 100% against this as I say it, but just the biggest damn grizzly bear skin you've ever had in your life. You put it right there. Or just a nicer piece of carpeted stuff. You're going to spend that money, Paul, on that table and then put it on that crappy, thin carpet shit? Let's face it. Every time you walk in that room, someone's mugged that purple rug up. Every time. Didn't matter the table or what. Every time someone walked in, and the wife had to go over there and pull it back out. Paul's going, every time I come in here, that purple I know what we'll do. We'll get a long table, and it'll go from that end of the ugly purple carpet to this end of the ugly purple carpet. Great job on this week's Jive Talkin. 10 out of 10. Hey! Stopped on a dime once again. And as always, keep them coming, brother. Heavy metal emoticons. Get Shane to 100K. Hashtag toes a tapping and a ass clapping, baby. Hashtag Diablo Big 4. Hashtag Rip Brother J. Fist smacks. Good job, buddy. Did I get Johnny B's heart? Yes. Mr. Michael Buchanan coming in here. Lots of fun coming from him and you guys this week. I think we got, I can't even remember what it was from Michael Buchanan coming up this week, but we're doing a Tool song video for Johnny B. It's 8 minutes long, Johnny. Now, to your defense, you could say, yeah, Shane, but you did Wormwood Row, and that was 10 minutes long. And to that, I would say, damn touche to you. I agree with you. Mike Buchanan, I finally got Shane to laugh at one of my dumb jokes. Pat self on back. Hell yeah. Sometimes you got to get in there. I'll be honest with you, the stupider the joke, the better for me in my brains. On this week's movies that are bad, but we love them anyways, The Green Slime, 1968. I'm getting back to the bad B movies roots, the start of the segment of my comments. And trivia time. This movie is the pilot episode, of Mystery Science Theater 3K. And you've got to be a fan to know that. MST3K, you've got to know it. Mystery Science Theater 3000. In the silent expanse of space, horror has the texture of a damp sponge. The green slime is what happens when a movie studio says, "We need monsters. We need a monster." And a guy in the back whispers, "I have a mop and some pipe cleaners." And we're out of time. There are things in this universe that should remain unspoken, not for fear of madness, but because language itself buckles beneath their shape. And yet, the green slime dares to show us what our minds were never meant to behold. An oozing, pulsating absurdity from the void, where terror and hilarity become indistinguishable. That's the way I like my terror. If I gotta have it, it's like hilarious and just almost like it's a wonderful time. There are things, let's see. The station floats in the abyss. Humans cling to their fragile metal shell, convinced that technology can shield them from the nameless dark. But the abyss answers, and it answers in slime. The creature, writhe, jiggling, vibrate with an energy that cannot be measured. Awkward, uncanny, stupid, terrifying. Their bizarre shrieking echoes not just down the corridor of the station, but through the corridors of existence. Sound like laughter from something older than stars, something watching, waiting, entertained by our panic. The green slime does not stalk, it spreads like a good mayo. It multiplies, it consumes, not with intellect nor malice. No, it consumes by that it is the nature of the void, indifferent hunger. I mean, am I reading this good? I feel like I'm numbing off somehow in a weird way. And the humans, poor screaming humans, believe they can fight it with bullets, with fire, with courage. Their efforts are candle flame flickering before a cosmic hurricane. Yes! And that cosmic candle flame, that flame inside is in each of you, all of us, flickering before a cosmic hurricane. In the end, the terror is not the slime itself. It is the realization that the universe is not cruel. Indeed, it is absurd. It is laughing. And the laughter sounds like a rubbery squeal echoing through an empty, infinite sky. Yes, I truly believe the universe says, I want to give you everything. And all you have to do is drop all of your baggage and be that little kid again, in spirit. You know, that spirit you had as a young kid when you were like, man, I didn't worry about nothing. I ran through the sprinklers for hours. That is what you get back. Get back to it. Find it in yourself. Drop everything else. I'm not saying jump in the car and leave the family and shit and go, I'm just saying go inside and start to peel away everything that you don't need anymore. Those thoughts, those lingering thoughts. Get rid of it all because it's just so light and airy. Grab your favorite beverage, sit in your favorite chair, pop some popcorn and press play. Try not to laugh unless you are watching the the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version. Okay, Mike Buchanan here on his, I've got to take a little sip of my water. I want you to see the bottom of this bottle. I guess it's dirty. And no, it's not dirty inside. It's just my water thing that I use. Don't look at that logo. But it has some dirt around the bottom ring on the outside of it, okay? So I'm sitting here the other day and I'm talking to my son and his friend. And I'm going, and I'm drinking it. But I was sitting lower than them. So when I lifted it up, they could see the bottom of the bottle. And they're both looking at each other. And I'm going, and anyways, and I'm just drinking. And they let me go on with it. And they said, you should, and then my kid says, you should change the bottle. There's dirt in that. I was like, it's on the outside of the bottle, but you guys are just going to let me sit there and drink it? You didn't try to smack it out of my mouth. Like, you were just going to sit there and let me drink it and then go, hey, you might want to do that. Anyways, Mike Buchanan on Alan Niven. Whatever he has in that book, and whatever it is that could be bad for the band, I really don't care. GNR ship sail for me, sailing away. When they release the atrocious Ep GNR Lies, how do you follow up one of the greatest rock and roll albums to have ever been recorded with that? I liked a little bit of it, but I did think it was weird where it's like, it seemed like it came out a little sooner. Like they jumped on it like, oh God, everyone likes it. Hurry, shove this out. Because I think they were doing those songs acoustic in record store signings or whatever. So it was like, oh, there's a new Guns N' Roses thing, and you're like, oh, what is this? Oh, I got a tummy ache all of a sudden. Maybe I need to put some dinner in it. That's another thing. I mean, eating bananas and fruit and all sorts of stuff. Mike Buchanan on Wolfgang Van Halen. My take. He should just ignore David Lee Roth and concentrate on his music and band. He's gaining real good traction. Yeah, he's got good tracks going there. And I think he just did an interview where he said, I feel like I'm really coming into my own right now. So we love that about him. Mark Osegueda, of course, that's Death Angel. No idea he ever tried out for Anthrax. I do know he left Death Angel and really left the music industry around 91, yes. And wouldn't come back in until 2001 when the Death Angel reunited, right? And that's when they was doing the organization, which you've mentioned before. One does wonder how different Sound of White Noise would have been with Mark instead of John, or if Anthrax would have recorded a totally different album. On a side note, Death Angel will be in town in a few weeks, along with Violence. Thinking of going. Go. I thought I saw a couple of songs from Violence where they're sounding pretty solid. That first record I remember pretty well back in the day, and it was good. And they were really old, weren't they? Violence was like old school Bay Area thrash, like the beginners, I think. A little peeky peek into Little Mike's life. Beside watching everything Shane Diablo I have an absolute obsession with woodworking videos on YouTube. Yeah. I cannot get enough of them. Isn't it peaceful? Isn't it just, that's what I'm talking about. Get your mind back. Put nutritious stuff in your mind instead of everything they shovel to you. Because none of it is true. So find your peace. Find that. I love that. I cannot get enough of them. From building furniture to carving sculptures to turning wood into vases, bowls. I will watch them all. There's a guy I watch, and now I'm going to go check him out. I watch named Mike Holden. I call him the Bob Ross of wood turning. He's just so relaxing and calming to listen to. Yeah. You get me over on one end, then you go listen to Mike Holden. Say, now it's time to calm down. He's from the UK. I haven't had a chance to watch the Paul Stanley table video yet, but I am going to. Oh, and I also can't get enough of drain cleaning videos. Those I would not watch. Any pimple popping, digging, here's the turds coming out the drain, none of that. But anything that's like, wood carving, anything like that is great. It's all about getting your calm back. Look, you go from the phone screen to the laptop screen to the television screen to the movie screen to the billboard screen to the, you're always doing this. You're doing it right now to me, and I love you for that. Watch more of me and less of everything else. But it's about finding out what's inside. That's the thing that I found the most interesting about this journey that I have been on, you guys, that I'm sharing with you lovingly through my podcast here, is the fact that I never thought once about what's going on. I says, you go to the doctor. Go to the doctor once a year if I can, and they tell you. And then you start to learn what the vast magic system you have going on. And if you don't believe me, go take your shoes off and go step into the grass and put your hands on a tree and breathe deep for 5 seconds. And then just stand there and maybe look up at the clouds, and you tell me you didn't get a reset. Your body physically went realigning, readjusting. The more you can cut out of the better off you'll be. And I'm telling you, there will come a time where you can sit for an hour and look at a bird on a branch and feel absolutely at peace. Because that's what we're all really looking for, right? Is peace. You just want peace and safety and comfort and just safety. You get it. You get it. You get stronger inside as a human being the more and more you spend quality time with yourself in here and not focused on. You could be the hero of the family. We all are. We all try to be the hero for everybody else, and in that return, you don't care enough about yourself, about your own stuff. But you are a person on a journey on earth here doing it. I love it that you guys listen to me. If you do, you say, oh, there he goes again. And then you see me go, you go, oh, there he is. And now, Jive Talkin Jokes of the Week provided by Mike Buchanan, and he is not the last one. Because we got Miss Althea and Sticky Doll and all of them. So we're halfway through here. Jokes of the Week. I recently joined a nudist colony. The first few days were the hardest, indeed. They tell you to go out into the water. I've never been there. Don't say, how in the hell do you know at the nudist colony what they tell you to do? But if you're near a body of water, they'll tell you go out and stand in the water until you calm down. Why do lions only mate in the summer? Because the pride comes before the fall. What happens when a ghost can't pay its mortgage? Its house gets repossessed. Deep thought of today. When you clean out a vacuum cleaner, you become a vacuum cleaner. Indeed. Boy, oh boy, truer words. And finally, I went to the doctor with hearing problems. He said, can you describe the symptoms? I said, Homer's a fat dude and Marge has blue hair. Because I believe, if memory serves me, Savannah Smiles ends with her getting in the car with her parents while police, surround and arrest the two guys, and she looks out the window crying. Go me. I did this comment in one take. Smile, Savannah, baby, one more time for me. Oh my God. Can we smile? Savannah Smiles movie ending. Yeah, because they make the deal to go to the park. Oh God, I love you. I love you guys. You're not going to see this if...
Of course we do. He is Chief Justice of the Supreme
Oh, this is the whole
Court of the
movie?
state. Also happens to be head of
Oh,
the
my
party.
God.
I need-
So this scene right here, they're just about to take her down to the park where they don't want no troubles.
Here. Drive off of this real quick.
Oh, God. She's just the cutest little thing.
Dispatcher, Savage.
All right, let's get it down here. So he says, just hold on, they're just getting ready because they got to take her back to the park. Now, remember, Savannah Smiles, she jumped in their car. They were at the park doing something. I think they were doing a bank heist or something, but she jumped in the back of the car, and now all of a sudden they're up for a kidnap. Oh, yes, this is where this is.
All action for a notification from Chief.
They're at the meeting location, yes.
Shivering yet?
Not yet. Should I give him a hot bath?
No, no. You ought not to bathe pups until they're about a year
They
old.
got her a puppy.
How do they get clean?
Well, their mama usually licks them clean.
Should I lick them?
Just brush them real good. That ought to do fine.
Why are all those people up there?
Well,
Yeah. All right. Well, that's enough of that, guys. I could literally tune out and watch that whole thing. But essentially, what happens is they turn themselves in and get the girl back. But she falls in love with them because they're fantastic and they mean no harm and they were never meanies. Gomi, he did that comment. Hashtag get Shane to 1 million subscribers to make up for getting Shane to 10K for last week. Huh? Shane to 10K from last week. Sorry, dude. Hashtag get Shane a Razzie Award. All right, there we go. Smile, Savannah, just one more time for you. My God. Yeah, and she runs over, and the mother picks her up, and doesn't the mom say thank you to them? Because she's been, she understands. She understands that the guys were good men. He's taken her across the waters. They've got the roads blocked off and everything.
Why'd you tell us Savannah was safe?
Yep.
No, don't go down there.
Just,
He's got a gun.
let go of me. It's my daughter.
That man down there isn't going to shoot anyone.
He's a good man.
You agree with it?
You know who that guy is, right? Timmy, have you ever been to a Turkish prison? This guy right here is the pilot for Airplane, the movie. But oh God, just a wonderful movie. Just some great little fellas there. Movie from 1982. MB coming in here in the comments and says Wolfgang Van Halen is irrelevant. Just because his father was great doesn't mean we have to listen to him or his opinions. Well, I mean, he's a great musician himself, MB, is what I think the conversation was. And he would agree with you 100% on that, because he's a very thoughtful and sweet person. But David Lee Roth can be a little obnoxious sometimes and rude to Wolfie, and Wolfie's always been the punching bag to David. Miss Althea coming in here. The dumbstruck fool says, Alan, Niven, and G and R. The lawsuit seems pretty flimsy to me and pointless. Okay, because we were asking, if the book gets blocked, what is to stop Alan from spilling the tea online? Confidential agreement? And threats be damned. Find something else to do, GNR and your people. Your fucking rock band, for God's sakes. Do you have a body buried somewhere or something? I read that terribly, but she's upset at those Guns N' Roses guys, you know. If you've buried people, we need to know about it, Guns N' Roses, Slash and all of you. We will find out. Wolfie, VH, and Diamond Dave. Just now it's being said, or alleged rather, that DLR, David Lee Roth, is one sandwich short of a picnic basket. I've been saying this for years. Yawn. However, I'm just now noticing how much more Wolfie looks like Valerie than Eddie, in my opinion. He's got them cheeks. I had a crush on her when I was a kid, and she was a kid on one day at a time, I said, you know, and someday I'm gonna marry that girl, I'm gonna marry that girl, I'm gonna marry that girl, one day at a time. Miss Althea on Mark Osigueda. Indeed, he is the man from Death Angel. We do the used, the Cult of the Used video this coming week, I believe. And it seems like he's kind of holding back on the vocal. I was having question if it was him or not in bits. And a piece of news we won't be speaking on about Death Angel is the main songwriting fella, which I can't remember his name right now, the brothers, said they don't know if there'll be an album in 2026 or not. Whose fault's that? I don't recall him auditioning for Anthrax, but he landed it. But had he landed it, I'm sure he would have been fantastic. Too metal? My ass. How can someone be too metal for a thrash band? That's true. You know, a guy called me a poser in the comments of my old one of my Cradle of Filth first listens that I did. He was just like, looking at you, I can tell you're a poser. And instead, I should have said false metal, but I forgot to write that down there. You mean false metal. Miss Althea on Paul Stanley's table. Double down on Sticky Doll's comment, okay? Someone posted that video to the hair metal subreddit a while back, and I got downvoted. You did? That's a bad thing, yes. We always want to be up and away, my beautiful balloon. You got downvoted for fifth when you commented, it's a table. A 30-minute video for a table. Really, y'all? It's a fucking table. On a related note, I still have not listened to the Peter Criss new single. I have not either. Maybe by episode 205. I have not either. And guys, please hear me now and believe me now and hear me now when I say this. We are a long ways away from this, okay? Because I have lots of things to figure out. But if you go to the Sea of Tranquility, they do a thing called, it's a Zoom type thing called the Hudson Valley Squares. Now, this is very, very far away. I do not want you guys dreaming about this, but I thought it would be fun to do some kind of a thing where there is kind of videos that go up with folks. Where we're having where maybe I am a trivia master of some sort, or I'm some kind of smart guy and I'm giving you guys things to answer, or something. I'm working around some ideas in my mind and stuff, okay? But we'll just get there when we get there. That's the best thing. Always good to flow with your intuition. Your intuition's saying, I don't think you should go. Don't go. You know? Now there's a difference between laziness and, but just always follow what feels the most natural to do. 30-minute table, yeah, really? Still not seen that. Maybe by episode 205. Keeping it bitchy. Miss Althea there. There you go. Sticky Doll coming out. Says 3 words, Shane. It's a table. But that's an expensive table. That's a lot of men that took to put that in there. Someone had to have wiped a booger or something on the walls that did. You're not going to believe. What did you do to the table, dude? What did you do to the table? In his Kiss shirt. I'm immortalized forever in Paul Stanley's wine room. Okay. Did we go a little off the rails? Sure we did, but that's fun. That's what we want to do because we love ourselves and we want ourselves to be as happy as we can. And if the happiness means just singing silly songs to yourself while you're doing the dishes or tap dancing or someone going, What are you doing? You've never done that before. Spinning around in circles with your shoes off in the backyard. What are you doing? You've never done that before. You say, I'm a new man. I'm a new woman. I'm free. I'm going back to nature. I'm soaking in the rays. I'm becoming back to what we sprang frometh. I'll tell you this right now, and I do partake of the energy drink from a time or two, but you take your shoes off and go touch a tree with your shoes off. You're in the grass, the dirt, the weeds, the whatever, and you're touching something, an aspen tree, something. You'll walk out of there feeling pretty damn good. And you'll say, you know what? I might try to do that once a day. Wouldn't that be so hard for you to go out and dip your feet in the dirt once a day? Could you do it? Between washing the car and washing the dog and washing the whatever. Let's get out of here. I'm going to find a sweet tune. It's going to be a sweet tune. We're going to go out. Been a little while since we did this one. Oh yeah. Hey baby, how you doing tonight? How you doing? Did you love that little podcast that I did for you? I do it with love. I do it for you with love. For you. Ooh, for you. For you. For you. Loving baby, baby, I'm loving you. Jive talking with my friends. Jive talking and the fun never ends. It's the heavy metal news, heavy metal good time. Heavy metal freedom, freedom, freedom. Sing about the heavy metal news time, good time. Rocking your mind, baby, rocking your mind. Baby, 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 baby. What should we do? Should we do?